How do I better trust my gut, especially in times of as confusing as right now? All right, so that's an amazing question. Really what it is about the gut, your gut, your intuition, your inner wisdom resides in your body. And therein lies the clue, right, is to get out of our heads. That's where a lot of the confusion and I think I have to figure things out. I have to, connect the dots and make things happen. I have to understand things rationally for them to be real. In many ways, when we're in our head, we don't believe anything that we don't understand. So literally everything that exists, we're limiting ourselves down to only that which we can understand, which is a tiny, tiny fraction of it. And then we discard the rest as, just at the very least as unknown and unprovable. But we're also not even focused on it. We lose our attention is so on that which we only know. So our whole world, our whole experience of life shrinks down into just our head space, what we know and what we believe in. And in this head space, we try to figure things out and toss around, what makes sense, what doesn't, what's right or wrong. Judgment, big part of this is, your judging habit kicks in and starts to mess with you basically. You rely on facts and figures, and so then you start searching and researching, and then one thing sounds right and you get pulled in that direction, then the next thing sounds right and you get pulled in that direction, and you just get more and more into your headspace and more confused about what's really real. And there's really no conscience to the headspace, right? It can rationalize anything. So depending on the mood you wake up in, you could believe in something else. It could be as simple as that. Or the weather. It can influence you in such a way that whatever thoughts come to you, you will believe them. So the headspace is the challenge here. And so getting out of the headspace and into our body is the trick to being more connected to that inner wisdom, that gut intuition. So thereabouts is what are some of the things you can do to get out of your head and into your body. Simple things like listening to music, that takes you out of your head space and more into the heart space and into the body where you feel your emotions, feel your feelings. That's part of your truth emerging and your inner wisdom. Exercise, movement is really important. So if you ever try to solve a problem and you've kind of sat there for a while, you can feel like you start to get stuck. And again, you get so stuck in that headspace that the energy can't flow through you. And the inner wisdom just there's no movement in you for the energy to come up, for the wisdom to emerge. So moving is a big part of that. And this is another way to get into your body is through meditation. But even through meditation, you can sit there and focus on your breath and do other exercises, and it really brings you into your physical beingness. But even there, movement is really important. You got to get up, go for a walk, even if it's just pacing around the living room, or back and forth in between the kitchen and the bathroom. Just find a path where you can actually move some. Obviously, if you have weights or exercise equipment, you can do some of that. As simple as sit-ups or some yoga stretches. That will get the body wisdom energy flowing again. So, and then obviously, but meditation being by itself really, really helpful to get out of your mind and into your body. And those of you who have experience in it will realize very quickly how difficult it is. How your mind has this pull. It keeps pulling you back into it, into the rational, the trying to make sense of things. I know the truth, my beliefs are the truth. And everyone else, of course, thinks their beliefs are the truth. And so everyone on the planet's running around thinking they know the truth, trying to get everyone else to agree with them because somebody else doesn't agree with them, that they feel threatened. Right? And that's the headspace, that's the confusion and the disarray and the antagonism really that comes from living in your head. So moving into the body, find a practice that really keeps you anchored, grounded. Sometimes it's good to just walk outside and take your shoes and socks off and just put your feet onto the earth literally there's a grounding that happens there, and the more attuned you are to your own energy field, then you can feel the energy, gravitating towards your root chakras and becoming more grounded. So that would be the advice that I have to getting out of your head and into your body, to allow that inner voice to come out and be louder. It's always there. There isn't a situation that you encounter in life where your inner wisdom isn't telling you what you should be doing here. What should you do to be you, to be true to you? So it's always there. It just gets drowned out by the noise of the judging and the mental activity, right? And this judging habit is incessant. Even if you get yourself into your body, it'll start pulling you back and saying, no, this is right and this is wrong. This is true, this is false. I believe in this, I don't believe in that. It's endless. It's an endless noise generator. But it's just a habit. You've been conditioned, all of us have been conditioned in the modern world to make decisions and have opinions about everything. There was a time when judging a situation as safe or unsafe ensured your survival. So in those contexts, yes, it's good to judge, right? But there comes a point where a lot of the judging just becomes fluff. It becomes senseless swirling of judging energy that occupies you and disconnects you from that inner wisdom and just drowns out your voice. By nature, that inner voice is a subtle voice. It's not a hit you over the head type of voice. That's not its nature. And that really speaks to the state that we're most aligned with ourselves and kind of the energies of life in our inner wisdom is one of stillness. It's not one of loud, partying and jumping up and down and there's a place for enthusiasm and being excited, but it's not the place that you connect to that inner voice. It doesn't come through in that way. So finding stillness and being okay with that is one of the first steps and to get there and make that a routine. And really, these times are a great opportunity for that, is getting comfortable with being alone. Even when you're with a partner or other people, roommates or family members or neighbors, or if you got a quarantine buddy that you're hanging out with, there's an opportunity there to practice being still with one another. Right? So part of the challenge might be that you feel like you need to fill the airspace. You maybe have experienced this over a simple dinner, where if you're sitting across from somebody and there's a moment of silence, it feels awkward. Right? For some reason, we feel silence is awkward. Well, it's because we're conditioned to have this constant judging mind, this constant judging noise swirling through our heads that needs to know things, needs to understand them for them to be real. If we can't understand them, then suddenly it becomes unreal, or we don't validate its existence. So again, the judging headspace. So becoming comfortable with stillness and silence and quiet is so key to allowing that inner voice to stay active and engaged and have a presence in your life. And so even though the question was, is it challenging because it's confusing right now, so challenging, well, actually right now is the best possible time to work on this comfort with your own stillness. It's rare. The world before it came to a standstill was so noisy and so busy and all this running around. In a way, this is the best thing that could happen for this inner wisdom, this inner voice to come out. So it may seem like it's confusing, but that's only because you're still used to the judging headspace from before. And also the discomfort of being in quiet and with yourself. The last few weeks I've posted a bunch of things on what you can do with take advantage of this alone time. But really it's in this alone time and comfort of stillness and self that this inner voice starts to really become more noticeable. And then you just retrain yourself. Again, your judging mind, the swirling mind, is just a conditioning. The world as it was, maybe it'll emerge differently from this, required you to just make constant decisions and constant opinions and stand for this and stand for that. And so that was a lot of headspace that was being filled and that people were living from. So, big opportunity here to shift out of that headspace and into your body so you can connect with that inner wisdom.